good morning to you. Welcome to Today. Thank you so much for starting your Friday with us. Hoda is with us while Savannah remains with her family.
And that is where we begin once again with the search for Nancy Guthrie. New clues emerging in the investigation, now entering day 13.
Authorities are releasing more details about the subject seen in this video from Nancy's security camera on the night she disappeared, saying they are looking for a male between 5'9" and 5'10" with an average build. And they also add he was wearing a black 24-liter Ozark Trail hiker pack.
Meantime, Savannah posted this touching video of Nancy as a young mom with the caption, "We will never give up on her." And the community in Tucson is coming together, displaying yellow ribbons and flowers all over the city as signs of support for Nancy and the Guthrie family.
Well, once again, we have it all covered for you. We'll start in Tucson with Liz Coitz, who remains on the ground for us. Liz, good morning.
Hi, Craig. Hi, Hoda. Good morning to both of you. We are now learning a little bit more about that person who showed up to Nancy Guthrie's home, including that authorities do believe he's a man and that backpack he was wearing is sold exclusively at Walmart. This, as the sheriff says, investigators that have been searching the area around Nancy's home have found a number of gloves, not just one.
Day 13 of the excruciating search for Savannah's mom, Nancy Guthrie. The FBI has for the first time released identifying details about the armed and masked suspect captured on Nancy's doorbell camera. The suspect is described as male, approximately 5'9" to 5'10", with an average build, wearing a black 25-liter Ozark Trail hiker pack backpack. A backpack NBC News has learned is sold exclusively at Walmart. On Thursday morning, FBI agents erecting this pop-up tent outside the home. The Pima County Sheriff says investigators have now recovered several items of evidence, including gloves, which have been submitted for DNA testing. The New York Post says they were there when this one was recovered. Overnight, Sheriff Chris Nanos telling our affiliate KVOA that, quote, quite a number of gloves have been found in a large area around the house. Nanos saying, quote, we don't even know the true value of these gloves. The sheriff also addressing reports of tension between the FBI and his department over evidence and DNA testing, saying, quote, it's not even close to the truth, and that the FBI agreed with his decision to send evidence to a private crime lab.
There's no arguing there. There's no fight. A sheriff didn't block anything. This has always been a case where we both work very close together.
The department also looking for video evidence, sending this alert to people with Ring cameras within a 2-mile radius of Nancy's home, requesting any video showing vehicles, traffic, pedestrians, or suspicious activity from January 1st to February 2nd. And investigators poring over leads and footage they do have, like this widely circulated surveillance video showing a man near home about 4 miles from Nancy's the night she was taken. Yesterday, investigators clearing that man from involvement, according to 2 officials. Meanwhile, as neighbors here in Tucson continue to support the family, Savannah posting this touching home movie of Nancy as a young mother. Savannah writing, our lovely mom, we will never give up on her. Thank you for your prayers and hope.
And as for that surveillance video, the FBI is hoping that providing that profile of this person, the height and the build, it's going to help narrow down the thousands of tips that have been pouring in. Meanwhile, they're also doubling the reward, now offering $100,000 for any information that leads to Nancy or the arrest and conviction of whoever is behind this. Craig.
Liz Coitz Force there in Tucson. Once again, Liz, thank you. NBC's Tom Winter, our national law enforcement and intelligence correspondent. He's followed the search and the investigation every step of the way. So let's talk about the 2 headlines from yesterday from an evidence standpoint, Tom. You've got the suspect between 5'9", 5'10", according to authorities. And they also are very specific about this backpack as well. Those 2 details, how significant could those be?
You know, it feels very incremental, but I actually think it could be a significant development in this case, just looking at FBI cases in the past and how they actually find people. And the reason for that is 24 hours ago, we were coming up with this fictitious example of Hoda Copies sporting goods stores. We can throw that out now. This is a private label brand, according to Walmart's own financial filings. So you know that this was purchased. If it was purchased new, could have bought from a friend, could have gotten from a friend. But if it was purchased new, you can go to Walmart with a subpoena. They will do this. They probably have already done it, and say who has bought that specific backpack in the greater Tucson area over the last couple of months, last 6 months, year, whatever it is. So now you get a list of names. Even if they bought by cash, you would still have a record of that person buying, perhaps surveillance video of that person buying. And if you have anybody who bought this on credit card and it matches any of the names that you've been hearing about over the last couple of days, well, that's a significant lead, because then what they'll do is they'll turn to the driver's license database and say how many of those names match with a male between, and they'll give it a range between like 5'8" and 5'12", or 5'8" and 5'11", and say, okay, that's somebody we really need to be focused on. That's the type of matching that they will do at this stage, and that gives you a really strong lead, starts to give you actual faces instead of a mass face, and the investigation can really get going from there. Look, they had this information about 18 hours ago. I mean, they released it a little bit less than that, but that tells us a lot that they've been working on this for a bit.
Tom, the FBI investigators are talking to neighbors, and they're not only asking about the night of the crime, they're asking about things that happened a month before. What are they gleaning from this sort of wide net that they're casting?
I look at the first thing that they mentioned in that message, which is they're looking for any vehicles, any suspicious vehicles. So they're clearly trying to focus in on a car. What we don't see in that doorbell camera we've been looking at for the past couple of days is a car. So they want to know, how did this person get to Nancy Guthrie's house? And if we can figure out a car, that car is registered to somebody, or somebody knows something about it, we've got license plate readers, we can really start to figure out where this car came from. Again, could be critical to this. They definitely want people to look back, and I think they might have a feeling at this stage, and in talking to former law enforcement people, that these individuals, whether it's one person or several people that did this crime, that they knew the neighborhood well, perhaps they had been there a couple of times.
All right. Tom Winter. Tom, thank you. Again, we want to put this tip line on the screen for you. The number to call with any information, it's 1-800-CALL-FBI. And in our next half hour, we're actually going to focus a little bit more on the overwhelming show of support for the Guthrie family all over the country.
All right.